Practicing speaking aloud, even when alone, is the first brave step that changes silence into progress. At the beginning, it feels unusual. Your own voice may sound strange, and you may hesitate, worried about mistakes. But the moment you let words leave your mouth, you begin to train your tongue, your breath, and your confidence. Speaking aloud is like building a bridge between what you know in your mind and what you can share with the world. Imagine standing in your room and describing what you see. The chair is near the window. The book is on the table. The light is bright today. These are simple sentences, but they are real. They take English out of your thoughts and give it sound. The more you do this, the easier it becomes. Slowly, the sentences grow longer. I will drink tea after finishing my homework. I feel excited about tomorrow. Each attempt strengthens the muscles of your mouth, just as exercise strengthens the body. The beauty of speaking alone is freedom. There is no audience to judge, no fear of being corrected, no pressure to be perfect. You can repeat a phrase 10 times until it feels natural. You can experiment with tone, speed, and even pretend you are giving a speech or telling a story. This private practice prepares you for real conversations, because when the time comes to speak with others, your voice has already been trained in safe silence. And with time, something shifts. You hear yourself speaking with more confidence, more fluency, more ease. The empty room that once felt awkward becomes your first classroom, and your voice becomes your teacher. Speaking aloud, even when alone, transforms English from a quiet idea into a living sound. Would you like me to now expand the second keynote, thinking in English during daily life, in the same flowing style? Thinking in English during daily life is like carrying a quiet teacher inside your mind, one who never leaves your side. At first, it feels uncomfortable because your brain wants to go back to the safety of your native language. You may start by translating word by word, but translation slows you down and makes sentences heavy. The real change happens when you begin to form thoughts directly in English, even if they are short and simple. Imagine walking down the street and telling yourself, "The road is busy. I am feeling tired. The shop is open." These are not complicated thoughts, but they are powerful because they train your brain to treat English as natural, not foreign. Slowly, those short phrases grow into longer ones. I will buy fruit before going home. Tomorrow will be a busy day, but I am ready. The more you do this, the less you need to rely on translation, and the faster your mind moves in English. Daily routines give you endless chances to practice. When you cook, you can name the ingredients. When you travel, you can describe the people around you. When you look in the mirror, you can tell yourself how you feel. Each small moment becomes an exercise. You don't need a classroom, a teacher, or a book. You only need your own thoughts. And then something surprising happens. One day you catch yourself planning, remembering, or even dreaming in English. You realize you didn't force it. You simply allowed your mind to live with the language day by day. Thinking in English turns ordinary moments into powerful lessons, until English feels less like study and more like the natural voice inside you. Listening to songs, movies, and podcasts is one of the most enjoyable ways to bring English into your life because it never feels like a heavy lesson. Music is often the easiest place to begin. When you hear a song, the melody carries the words straight to your memory. You may not understand every line, but a chorus will stick in your head, repeating itself until you can sing along. Slowly, you start to feel the meaning behind the music. A simple phrase from a song becomes part of your own speech, almost without effort. Movies take the experience even further. Watching characters speak brings the language to life in a way books cannot. You see the expressions, the gestures, the emotions, and these clues help you guess meaning, even if the words are unfamiliar. Sometimes a single phrase from a movie will stay with you, and before long, you use it in your own conversations. Watching films in English is like entering a world where you not only hear the language, but also feel it. Podcasts offer another kind of practice. They are real voices, real stories, and real conversations. Some voices are quick, others slow, some formal, others casual, but each one trains your ear to the music of English. Even if you understand only half at first, your brain is learning to catch rhythm, tone, and common phrases. Day by day, your ears grow sharper and the language begins to feel more familiar. The beauty of listening is that it can happen anywhere. On a walk, while cooking, on the bus, or before sleeping. You are not just passing time, you are surrounding yourself with English in a natural way. With music, movies, and podcasts, the language becomes part of your world, not just a subject you study. And without even realizing it, you begin to think, laugh, and feel in English. Reading books and articles in English is like stepping into a world where every page is both a teacher and a friend. At first, it can feel slow, like walking through deep water. You may pause often, stop to check meanings, or even feel lost in the middle of a sentence. But the secret is to start small, to choose words and stories that match your strength. A short story, a children's book, or even a light article can open the door without overwhelming you. Books have a special power. When you read something like The Little Prince, you discover that even simple words can hold deep meaning. A single sentence can stay in your mind for days, shaping the way you see the world. As you turn the pages, you find not only new vocabulary, but also new ways of expressing feelings, ideas, and dreams. Reading becomes more than learning. It becomes a journey. Articles bring another gift. They are short, practical, and full of words you can use in daily life. A travel piece shows you how to describe places. A health article gives you phrases for body and mind. A blog post teaches casual expressions. Each article adds something useful to your own speech, making English not only a language of stories, but also a tool for everyday living. The more you read, the less you fear. Instead of rushing to understand everything, you begin to trust the context. You underline words that shine, copy sentences you admire, and even read aloud to hear the music of English. Over time, the effort fades and the joy grows. Books and articles stop being just practice material. They become companions, leading you deeper into the language, page by page. Using a notebook to write thoughts, notes, or a diary in English is like creating a private garden where your words can grow freely. At first, the garden may look small, just a few sentences, maybe even a single word written down. Buy milk. Call friend. I feel tired today. But those small seeds are powerful because each one makes English a natural part of your daily life. A diary takes this habit to another level. Every night you can sit down and write a few lines about your day. I woke up late today. I walked to the market. I cooked dinner for my family. These sentences may be simple, but they are honest, and because they are yours, they matter. With time, your diary entries grow longer, your vocabulary grows wider, and your grammar begins to shape itself without you even forcing it. When you read your old entries weeks later, you can see how much you've improved, proof written in your own hand. Even quick notes or lists can help. Writing a shopping list in English, jotting down reminders, or leaving yourself sticky notes, these tiny actions turn English into a daily companion. It stops being something you only study in books and becomes the language of your real life. The beauty of writing in a notebook is that there is no rush, no pressure, no judgment. You can cross out mistakes, rewrite sentences, or decorate the page with new words. The notebook listens patiently, and in return, it shows you how far you've come. Each page becomes a mirror of your progress, a silent witness to your journey. And one day, you realize that your notebook is no longer just paper filled with words. It is a map of your growth, showing how English has slowly, steadily become part of who you are. Learning from mistakes and repeating often is the quiet engine that keeps progress alive. Many people fear mistakes as if they are signs of weakness, but in truth, mistakes are signs of courage. They show that you are trying, that you are stepping beyond what feels safe. Every wrong word, every broken sentence, every pause filled with uncertainty is not a failure. It is a lesson in disguise. Think of a child learning to walk. They fall again and again, but each fall teaches balance. No one expects them to stand perfectly on the first try. Language works the same way. When you mispronounce a word, you are training your mouth. When you forget grammar, you are training your memory. Each mistake is practice, shaping you in ways you may not notice right away. But making mistakes alone is not enough. You must repeat. Repetition is what transforms weakness into strength. Say the same word again and again until it feels natural. Write the same phrase in your notebook until it looks familiar. Listen to the same sentence in a podcast until your ear catches every sound. Repetition may feel boring, but it is the rhythm of mastery. Over time, you begin to see a change. Words that once felt heavy now come out easily. Sentences that once confused you now feel simple. And the mistakes that once embarrassed you become stepping stones you are grateful for. Instead of running from them, you begin to welcome them because you know each one carries you forward. The truth is, fluency is not built on perfection. It is built on persistence. Every mistake corrected, every phrase repeated, every attempt made is a brick in the foundation of your growth. With patience, those bricks rise into something strong, something lasting, your own confident voice in English. Recording your own voice to hear progress is like holding up a mirror, but instead of seeing your reflection, you hear it. The first time you press record and listen back, it may feel uncomfortable. You notice every pause, every mispronounced word, every bit of hesitation. You might even think, do I really sound like that? But this discomfort is the first step toward growth, because what you hear is not failure. It is a map showing you where to improve. At the beginning, your recordings may sound shaky and uncertain, but as you keep practicing, you start to notice small victories. A word that once tangled your tongue now comes out smoothly. A sentence that once felt broken now flows more easily. The recordings become proof that your effort is working, even if progress feels slow in the moment. This practice also gives you a chance to become your own teacher. When you listen to yourself, you can compare your speech to the voices you hear in songs, movies, or podcasts. You notice rhythm, stress, and pronunciation, and slowly you begin to adjust. Recording lets you step outside of yourself for a moment and hear English the way others hear it. Another hidden gift is confidence. Each time you record, you train yourself to speak without stopping, to carry a thought from beginning to end. Over time, the fear of speaking fades because you've already practiced under the ear of your own recorder. When it's time to speak with others, you carry that confidence with you. One day, months later, you may listen to an old recording and feel surprised. The voice that once sounded unsure now sounds stronger, clearer, more fluent. And in that moment, you realize that progress was happening all along. It was just waiting for you to listen. Using simple words confidently instead of chasing perfection is one of the greatest secrets to becoming a fluent speaker. Many learners think they must use big, complex words to sound intelligent, but in truth, real communication is about being understood, not about showing off. A clear, simple sentence often carries more power than a complicated one filled with hesitation. Imagine two friends talking. One says slowly, searching for fancy words, "I wish to articulate my profound appreciation for your remarkable assistance." The other smiles and says with ease, "Thank you so much for your help." Which one sounds more natural? The second. Simplicity creates connection, and connection is the true heart of language. When you use simple words, you speak with confidence. You don't stop every few seconds to think, you don't worry about mistakes, and you don't feel trapped by grammar rules. Instead, your words flow, and people understand you. That understanding builds trust, and trust builds courage to keep speaking. The truth is, native speakers also use simple language most of the time. They say, "I'm hungry," instead of "I am experiencing a strong sensation of hunger." They say, "It's cold outside," instead of "the temperature is significantly reduced beyond comfort." You don't need heavy vocabulary to sound fluent. You need ease, clarity, and confidence. And something magical happens when you accept this. You stop waiting until you know enough to speak. You begin using the English you already have, and by using it, you expand it. With every conversation, you learn a little more. Fluency doesn't arrive by chasing perfect words. It arrives by speaking the simple ones with courage. Being patient and making speaking English part of your daily routine is the quiet strength that turns small efforts into lasting fluency. Many people expect results quickly, as if 1 week of practice should make them sound like a native speaker. But language doesn't grow that way. It grows slowly, like a tree, day by day, leaf by leaf, branch by branch. Patience is the water that keeps it alive. There will be days when speaking feels easy and natural, and days when every word feels heavy. On those hard days, it's tempting to stop, but patience teaches you to continue. Even if you only speak for 5 minutes, even if your sentences are broken, that effort counts. Each little moment adds to your growth, like drops of water filling a jar. Making English part of your routine means weaving it into ordinary life, not waiting for a special time or place. You can talk to yourself in English while cooking, describe the weather as you walk outside, or whisper your plans for the next day before bed. These small habits don't take extra time. They transform the time you already have into practice. Over weeks and months, these little acts begin to build something powerful. Without realizing it, you start to feel more natural, more comfortable, more confident. English stops being a subject you study and becomes simply the way you express yourself. And one day, you'll notice the change. A conversation that once scared you now feels easy. A sentence that once took minutes to form now comes in seconds. You'll realize that patience and daily routine didn't just help you learn English, they made English a part of who you are.